6:30. The June 17th work study will begin. We'll start with officials' reports. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, everybody. Our 50th annual Heritage Days celebration was a great event. The weather cooperated and our wide array of activities went off without a hitch. Friday evening, the all-school, all-class reunion was well attended with Southgate High graduates once again taking the bragging rights for having the most alumni members attending, not only at this event, but at our council meetings as well. New this year was our Mayor's Cornhole Challenge. That event pitted Lincoln Park Mayor Maureen Tobin and Taylor Mayor Tim Woolley against Riverview Mayor Andy Swift and me. I'm happy to report that Mayor Swift and I once again prevailed and won the challenge. The next mayoral challenge will take place this Saturday at 7 p.m. At the Riverview Summerfest. Our Heritage Days parade was also well received with many of our parade watchers indicating that this was the best parade they had watched in years. Our semi-quincentennial float, funded by our DDA, was also a hit with the crowd. Special acknowledgement to our talented employees, Corey Griswold, Jason Kujak, and Sydney Robinson for taking a simple sketch and bringing the Eagle float to life. The float will also represent Southgate in our upcoming 4th of July parade in Wyandotte. This year's Taste of the Town also set new records and was enjoyed by all who attended. This year's award winners were the Parthenon for Best Presentation and Alex Kebab for People's Choice Award. Special thanks to all of the 24 businesses that joined this year's Taste of the Town, and congratulations to my wife Kim for once again creating a spectacular event for our community, 16 years running. Heritage Days was also the premiere for this year's student art murals. The murals within the park were updated with new student artwork created by our Southgate Anderson High School students. Each creation is unique and worth a walk around the park. If you missed them at Heritage Days, they will be on display throughout our summer concert series and beyond. Heritage Days means so much for our community, and I would again like to thank all of our employees and also the volunteers who joined together to make this year's event successful and memorable. Things are really shaping up for our patriotic concert and fireworks on Friday, July 3rd. The event will begin at 6 p.m. at our South Winds Golf Course with the music starting at 7. Several food trucks will be on hand to offer a variety of cuisines to those in attendance. This free family event will be presented by the Schoolcraft College Jazz Band under the direction of Southgate native Dr. Rick Selva. Fireworks will be presented at dusk through the generous sponsorship of Dick Genthy Chevrolet. July 3rd will be a great way to celebrate our nation's semi-quincentennial here in the great city of Southgate. Bring a blanket or a lawn chair and look forward to an evening of music, family fun, and patriotism. Wayne County Parks is also offering a free outdoor concert this summer. Their version is called Trucks and Tunes and will be held in Elizabeth Park on Wednesday, June 24th from 6 to 9 p.m. As the name implies, there will be live music performed by the band Atomic Radio and food trucks. Just another evening to enjoy our downriver community. This past Saturday, my family and I attended a very enjoyable and unique event. Dance Avenue on Eureka hosted their 20th annual dance show at Southgate Anderson Auditorium. Owner Sarah Seeloff and her staff put on a great show. Sarah also served on our DDA board for many years. The dance students of all ages gave it their all, and the volunteer stage parents kept the props and show moving. I would also like to highlight the talents of a regular member of our City Council meeting audience, that is Miss Rose Price. Rose is the daughter of Councilman Adrian Price and his wife Brianna. She gave a remarkable performance during her 2 dance numbers. The last one, however, featured the student dancers with their fathers. So Councilman Price joined his daughter on stage for a spirited performance. He is not only, Councilman Price is not only a dedicated public service, he is a dedicated father that can dance. Lastly, let me be the first to wish everyone a happy Juneteenth. The holiday will be this Friday, and our city offices will be closed for the event. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Thank you. The absentee ballots will be mailed out June 25th. That's 40 days before the August 4th election. So if you get an absentee ballot, please use it and vote. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Mr. Treasurer.
Good evening. The mayor mentioned that the 16 years for the concert or the Taste of the Town, but it was actually, I think she's been running it for 16 years, but it's been around for 23 years because myself and Councilman Roush started it when we were on the Special Events Committee before we were on the council. So it's been around a long time, that's for sure. Yes. The summer taxes will go out not necessarily, July 1st is the scheduled date. Hopefully they go out July 1st. So just so everybody's aware, they will go out July 1st and they are due August 15th. Thanks.
Councilman Price.
No report.
Councilman Roush.
No report.
Councilman Graziani.
No report.
Councilman George.
I have no report. My commissions did not meet, but I would like to wish all the fathers a happy Father's Day.
Councilman Ayers.
Hello, everyone. The Planning Commission did meet on last Monday, June 8th. There was a public hearing held for Carly Datar for 15748 Fort Street, of course, Southgate, Michigan, for a special condition use site plan review, a proposed construction of a new drive-through only coffee establishment, which is called Seven Brew. There was a public hearing that took place. Several residents were present, opposing this project with the following concerns: increased traffic congestion, safety risks for pedestrians, children, and nearby residents. They believe the new business is important but they don't know about the location. I will say that the developer was quite understanding and she answered their questions. She was quite responsive. So that went over, maybe not like they expected, but she did give some great responses. So the Planning Commission did approve a special condition use for Carly Tatar for 15748 Fort Street, based on the following conditions. For one, they provide confirmation from MDOT, a permit including traffic study approval, and two, will not affect the safety and welfare of the residents. So we are hoping that within the next weeks or so, that they'll get that study back from MDOT. So if MDOT says it's a no-go, it's a no-go. They also met on, I need to make this bigger, sorry. You see why I wear glasses. So under old business, AMG Apartment Management, the Maple Village of Southgate, they had a site plan review for 15685 Goddard Road in Southgate for 40 additional multifamily apartment units. So hey, more people to come and live in Southgate, right? So the Planning Commission did approve a site plan for AMG Apartment Management, Maple Village of Southgate, for multifamily apartment units with the following conditions: approval of site access and circulation for the fire department, approval of site access and circulation by the city engineer, clarify pedestrian connections to Clubhouse and Goddard sidewalks, city engineer approval of proposed utilities, add lighting pole fixtures as noted, and approval of proposed building materials by the city building department, and add crosswalk pedestrian signage, striping, and speed bumps. And that was not pedestrian as the speed bumps, it was, for the cars. So that was that for now, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Golick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The DDA did not meet yet this month, but Director Maria Goli wanted to thank the musicians, the vendors, and all the residents who showed up yesterday for the concert in the park. She looks forward to seeing everyone on Tuesdays this summer. And then additionally, you've noticed in the news, there's been a few incidents already of children drowning in swimming pools, and it's not even 80 degrees yet. The YMCA is offering free swimming lessons. Just contact the wife for details, set your children up for those lessons, and let's have a safe summer. Thank you.
Thank you.
But, sorry, Madam Chair,
Councilman Nesri.
is there an age limit?
I did not see that.
All right, Mr. Marsh for the agenda, please.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair. Tonight, the first item under Communications A is regarding the Smart Municipal Community Credit Program Agreement. This is the standard annual agreement that funds our senior bus system and the bus tickets that we provide to seniors. This agreement is for fiscal year 2027. Are there any questions from council on this agreement? Okay, seeing none, next is a request to renew the subscription for document storage with Power DMS for a 3-year term. Power DMS is used by members of the police department for various forms of document retention and retrieval that are required to maintain accreditation. The subscription also includes a platform called Power Ready, which is specifically designed to support field training for new officers. The system has been successfully integrated into the police department since it was originally approved back in 2020, and the administration is recommending the renewal. Are there any questions from council on that item? Okay, seeing none. Next is a request to use Quint Plumbing, the city's awarded plumbing contractor, to relocate and replace water heaters that are in the police department and the 28th District Court building. The relocations are recommended due to the proximity of existing hot water tanks to sensitive electronic equipment. This problem was identified after the electrical repair work that was done back in February. Also, because of the limited space, the administration is recommending replacing the old 80-gallon tanks with wall-mounted on-demand vented heaters. The old tanks will remain with the city and will be used as replacements for other water heaters in the city complex. Are there any questions from council regarding that item? Okay, last on the agenda is the fiscal year 2025-2026 year-end budget amendment. This is a budget amendment number 2026-03. Included in your packet is a detailed description of each amendment provided by the finance director. Are there any questions from council on the budget amendment? Okay, seeing none, that's all.
Before we reconvene at 7, Mr. Marsh, if you could discuss the priority waste. I know there were some emails from council and things that we've received as well, just an update and what's going on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know city council members and city staff have been getting a lot of phone calls from residents regarding the failed routes. This is obviously, if you watch the news, not a problem that's unique to Southgate. That being said, we are addressing it. The contract that was approved back in 2025 does allow for penalties for missed routes. Specifically, it's a $1,000 penalty every time they don't complete a route within the allowed time. So we have been charging those off of the invoices that were charged monthly, and we're going to continue to do that. I will say that we're working with the management at Priority Waste, and we're setting up a meeting with their CEO to discuss the ongoing issues because the fines are there to get them in compliance, but ultimately the goal is to have on time and predictable trash service, and that's what we're aiming to get out of them.
Thank you. It seemed like this all came to a head over the holiday weekend. Like, was there trucks out? Like, do you know, like, what made the delays happen? I know there was, like, a transfer or a transition in
Yeah.
leadership, but was there something else, like their fleet or just people not showing up for work? Was there any context given?
Madam Chair,
Councilman
if
Gold.
I may, I think this weekend was unique. There were a lot of garage sales. Now, they did pick up our garbage on time, but during the day, I know it was very difficult for them because of the cars being parked, because of there were many garage sales, especially in my area, but the garbage did get picked up. Now, the compost did not get picked up. It didn't get picked up till Sunday, which made it even more of a problem because on Sunday, parking is allowed in the street, plus the garage sale was still going on. So they did pick it up Monday. But like I did send you a memo or an email that I am watching it because for some reason my street was neglected for a while. But like I say, I think they are really trying to make a good effort now, but we do need to keep on top of it.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that they are trying. They would like to not have to deal with these issues as well. In terms of what is causing the issues, I know there was the transfer of ownership that kind of syncs up with this. It's not apparent that actually has anything to do with the performance issues here. What we were being told was they did have some mechanical issues with some of the trucks that depleted their fleet. along with the high volumes that come with this time of year, specifically with yard waste. And I'm sure some of you have actually experienced this. The yard waste is the route that they're consistently missing or consistently behind on. So those two things, the high volumes and the down vehicles, are what seems to be causing the issue. Neither one of those are really true excuses, because the contract itself talks about preparing for high volume times and having an adequate fleet. So you can understand on a practical level, if you do have fleet issues and you have high volumes, that's going to be a problem, but it's a problem that's expected that they solve. And that's why we're going to be meeting with them and continue to fine until they're in compliance.
Madam Chair.
Councilman Gollnick?
A couple of points for the residents. What would your suggestion when the compost is 3 days late? Because if you leave it on the front yard, it's going to smell and look bad. If you take it back into the backyard to bring it out next week, now they're going to have double to pick up. What would you advise our residents?
Yeah, so what I would advise them to do is actually to leave it out, because as Councilwoman George pointed out, they collected on Sunday. So for some folks, that would have been 3 days later. I understand that that's not great for the lawn, but it is, if you bring it back in and the truck comes by, there's a chance that you're now storing it in your backyard for an extra week, and obviously compost can have bad odors, and it's not nice to keep in your backyard. So we'd recommend them keep it out there. The other thing I'd recommend is continue to use the portal. Residents should be putting in their complaints into that portal, because that's another way that we can monitor their performance. We have access to see those complaints, and as those complaints are not being resolved in a timely manner or responded to in a timely manner, it gives us another avenue to point to failures with the contract.
And then one other point, the city of Dearborn Heights has withheld $100,000 in payment. I'm not sure how they have that in their contract. The city of Sterling Heights has switched companies, and the city of Westland is trying to switch companies. And I'm not sure what we have in our contract that gives us an out to ever switch companies if the service does not improve. But can you talk to that a little bit?
Sure. I don't know how Dearborn Heights is withholding that amount either, and it's not clear that that will be successful. We don't have a clause in there that we can withhold hundreds of thousands of dollars for a failed route. We have reasonable penalties in there. That being said, there's default clauses in there, and even cured defaults, even an accumulation, it specifically mentions in there, an accumulation of cured defaults can still lead to a termination of the contract. We have to balance the frustration that we're all feeling with priority right now with the practicality of what it would mean to terminate without a plan in place. We're going through the steps that we would want to do right now, starting with penalties, meeting with the leadership, and trying to get back on track. And because ultimately, if we can get the yard waste route back on track by a couple of days, this isn't a conversation at this point, right? For the city of Southgate, at least. That being said, we're obviously open to looking at other alternatives. I have reached out to a couple of other administrators to see how they're handling it, and what options they have in terms of looking into additional company, or either an additional company to support the failed pickups, or to move off them in case there was a default. But again, I think it's premature to talk about terminating the contract with them, because again, if they pick up half the yard waste that they're missing a day ahead of time, this isn't even a conversation. They're very close to being in compliance.
Thank you.
Through the chair.
Councilman Ayers?
And just to confirm, that portal, they get to it from our website?
Yeah, they can get to it through the website, and what Laura Walsh, the administrative assistant, has done, and she's put it right there on the landing page. So if you just type in southgatemi.org, you come to our landing page, and there will be a link right there where you can click on it, and it'll take you to the portal.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. We'll reconvene at 7 o'clock. June 17th, regular meeting will begin. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Cuspa.
Here.
Councilman Graziani.
Present.
Councilman George.
Here.
Councilman Ayers Reese.
Present.
Councilman Roush.
Here.
Councilman Price.
Here.
Councilman Gullett.
Here.
And a motion to approve the work study meeting minutes dated June 3rd, 2026.
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman George.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the work study meeting minutes dated June 3rd, 2026.
Support. Motion by George, supported by Roush. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. And a motion to approve the regular city council meeting minutes dated June 3rd, 2026.
Madam Chair,
Councilman Ayers Reese.
make a motion we approve the regular city council meeting minutes dated June 3rd, 2026.
Support.
Motion by Ayers Reese, supported by Price. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. No scheduled person in the audience, no consideration of bids, and no scheduled hearings. First item under communications A is a memo from Laura Walsh regarding the Smart Municipal and Community Credit Program Agreement. Madam Clerk.
Enclosed, please find documents for the City of Southgate Transportation Program and funding programs available for the SMART program under the following title: Municipal and Community Credits Program for fiscal year 2027. Please review the attached contract for your approval and authorization.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Golick, sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve the SMART Program Municipal and Community Credits Program for fiscal year 2027 and authorize Laura Walsh to sign on behalf of the city.
Support.
Motion by Golick, supported by George. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Next, a letter from Mayor regarding the renewal of subscriptions for document storage and employee training personnel file platforms. Madam Clerk.
It is recommended by the Chief of Police, and I concur with his recommendation to approve the renewal for document storage and employee training personnel files platforms with Power DMS Incorporated, El Segundo, California, expiring July 5th, 2029. The annual subscription amounts are as follows: Year 1, $13,309.90. Year 2, $14,011.46. Year 3, $14,713.03. Sufficient funds are available in the general fund police department budget to cover costs associated with these subscriptions. Your favorable consideration of this matter is requested.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chairman,
Councilman Roush.
I make a motion, we approve the renewal of subscriptions for the document storage and employee training personnel files platforms with Power DMS for a term of 3 years beginning July 6th, 2026 through July 5th, 2029, in the amounts of $13,309.90, $14,011.46, and $14,713.03 for the years 1, 2, and 3 respectively.
Support.
Motion by Rouse, supported by Price. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Next is a letter from Mayor regarding the approved proposals for water heater replacements. Madam Clerk.
I have reviewed the above and concur with the Chief of Police recommendation to approve the proposals from Quint Plumbing and Heating Company of Wyandotte for the replacement of the police department water heater in the amount of $6,299.21 and the replacement of the 28th District Court water heater in the amount of $6,510.71. Quint Plumbing is a city-approved contractor for plumbing services. Funds are available in the general fund police and district court departments budgets. Your concurrence on this matter is greatly appreciated.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman George.
I move to approve proposals from Quint Plumbing and Heating, Inc. for the replacement of water heaters at the Police Department and 28th District Court buildings in the amounts of $6,299.21 and $6,510.71 respectively.
Support.
Motion by George, supported by Ayers Reese. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Last is a memo from the Finance Director regarding the approved budget amendment number 2026-03. Madam Clerk.
Attached, please find proposed budget amendment 2026-03 for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026. The attached report proposes amendments to budgeted expenditures based on recent collective bargaining agreement extensions. These budget amendments are necessary to be in compliance with the State of Michigan's Uniform Budgeting and Accounting Act. Amendments that are positive amounts represent increases to the adopted budget figures. Conversely, negative amounts represent decreases to the adopted budget figures.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Ayers Reese.
I make a motion we approve the proposed budget amendment number 2026-03 as detailed in the report that was attached.
Support.
Motion by Ayers Reese, supported by Golick. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Nothing under communications B, no ordinances. Any old business the council like to discuss?
Madam Chairman.
Councilman Roush.
I just have a couple questions. As many of you know, that this past weekend, we had a Pride event here in the city of Southgate that actually went on with the sponsor. I want to say thank you to the administration for going through and approving it. But there's been questions from residents that I can't answer, and I just think that we need to answer them. I understand this is the third year. It was the third year they had it. And they've had vendors before, so we paid with taxpayer money before for vendors for this event. What I don't understand is what prompted us to cancel it this year, because we didn't the last 2 years.
Honestly, it was simply missed through the chair. It was simply missed in those previous years. That would have been the outlier or the inconsistency in the approach that we take to not sponsor those type of events.
I have a question. I know the mayor did this year, but did anybody ever go to the event?
I don't think it was.
Anyone in terms of,
Anyone attend the event? If you'd attended the event, yeah, I went. Me, Chris Roulette, there was many. Actually, 12 people originally were signed up, and there was well over 100 people that attended. But I guess the part they don't understand is first of all, when we canceled it on Tuesday, when we got the memo, the check had already gone through us. It had already cleared the warrant, and the library had the check already in their safe. So that means we had already approved that vendor. And we've done it before. It had anything to do with the LGBTQ community. It really simply was a vendor just for something to do, because it was more of an informational thing. That's what it was for. It was an informational, educational thing that the library had put on. And they had done it like they've done other things. Whether it's Black history, that's what it was, an educational thing. It wasn't anything more than that. It wasn't pushing the LGBTQ community on anybody. It was simply just that. But and honestly, if you would have seen the comments, I mean, there was some good, there was some bad. I mean, there wasn't a drag queen reading a story. There wasn't anything inappropriate. It simply was it was for the one lady that I talked to, it was simply for, so just say some teen comes out and his parents don't accept it and he doesn't know where to turn to. That's what this was for. This was for someone that maybe is contemplating suicide, or maybe they don't know where to turn. That's what that was for. It wasn't anything to do pushing it wasn't what you normally think of. Trust me, I've been to some Pride events that would turn your hair. It wasn't for that at all. And I just think that it was not a good, maybe better education or better follow-up or better look through the whole thing. But if this is the precedent we're setting, and I'm okay with it because with the memo, but we probably need to look, we need to look at every single event. I mean, the mayor mentioned the parade. That too could be controversial. We had politicians in there campaigning. Now it's political, with taxpayer money. You had Right to Life that was passing out their stuff. That could be controversial. So all I'm saying is I understand that it might not be something that we want to sponsor or we didn't want to use taxpayer money for. But then if that's the case, going forward, we need to do that with every event, not just this one. Because it shouldn't be, we can't pick and choose. We are elected officials for the entire city of Southgate. We represent everyone. Black, white, green, gay, straight, it doesn't make a difference. We all represent them. So I'm just saying, this is just my opinion, and it's not just my opinion, because I know some of my colleagues, I've talked to them too. Going forward, we really need to look at every event to make sure that it doesn't go under the social/political advocacy event that you sent us. That was the reason that they canceled. That's all I'm saying.
and I would say that, again, that the event on this weekend would have been the outlier in that if there's a specific event that you're concerned about that we do, I know you mentioned the parade, there's a key distinction there between the parade and this event. For example, in the parade, if there was a Pride organization or an LGBTQ organization, they would have been welcome to attend the parade. We weren't paying Right to Life to be there or anything like that. So, or the political participants in the parade either. So we're really facilitating the parade. Different organizations can join in. And ultimately, that's what happened on Saturday, is that the library facilitated the event, although another organization sponsored it. So yeah, I understand. I dealt with that quite a bit last week, and I can sense the frustration, and I understand that it really disappointed a lot of people. I'm glad that, eventually it worked out the way it did. But I would say that the consistent approach is that we don't actually sponsor those. We may facilitate them, and that's been the case in past events, but we don't actually, pay for them to take place.
Madam Chairman. So I'm just curious then, so what prompted this year and not that we just didn't know the last 2 years that it went on? Is that what happened?
Correct. It was brought to the attention. We saw that we were the sponsor of a Southgate Pride event, which was for the LGBT community. It was a Southgate. That was what the event was for. We realized there was costs associated and that we were actually sponsoring those, and so that's what prompted the initial conversation with our legal counsel and then with the library director.
But we really weren't sponsoring because they were just like you said, the one group put the event on. It was the library, the assistant librarian that I talked to. She just had something so there was something for people to do. Because if you actually walked into the event, there was more people doing tattoos and buttons and the glitters and the painting the right. There was happened more than that actually that talked about the LGBTQ. If I didn't walk in there and see the flags, I would have never known that was what was going on. I really wouldn't have. So I'm just saying that I think going forward, if that's what we're going to do, we really should look at every event and make sure that we treat everyone the same. And that's many residents said that. So, and I'm just conveying what I heard.
And I would agree. And if there's ever a concern about an event that's taking place, I would say raise it with the administration so we can look at it if something got by us.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, I just would like to chime in on that because I appreciate Councilman Roush's point about we represent everybody, and we do. So we have to be very careful about being neutral on social issues or other things that, you could have multiple different organizations that want the library to sponsor an event for them. The sponsorship was really the issue, not the event. We had the room for all sorts of organizations that either rent it or because if they're a nonprofit, they use it as a public space in our city. You mentioned the fact that it went on for the last 2 years. I was not aware of it. The Library Commission was not aware of it. Which I think that they should minimally be aware of things happening at the library. So when we were made aware of it, it was kind of a legal thing in terms of, we wanted to make sure that the city remained neutral, whether it's this event or any other social cause that we don't lend to the sponsorship. So the administration's position was not to sponsor the event, and that's what we were told. And then all of a sudden it was interpreted as we were canceling. Well, I guess there's kind of semantical on that. I think it was a knee-jerk reaction because it didn't take them long to find an independent sponsor who would sponsor the vendors that ultimately did the tattoos and other things that were there that day. So the idea of representing this entire community is the best position for the city is to remain neutral on those things. But if we're made aware of something, we have to react to it, and we were not aware of it happening in the past.
Madam Chair.
Councilman Gollett?
I would just hope we can use this incident as a communication and a teaching effort for all of us, including our employees who maybe don't even know the procedure when asked for a small amount of money, which is what it seemed it was. I'm not sure how many other events that the library sponsors and just writes the check because we've done it in the past. I guess we've done it 3 years in a row. So let's just make sure that everybody in our departments all know what the procedure is. So we're upfront with everybody. It's not a knee-jerk reaction at the last minute. Thank you.
The last point I'd make on that is that we have to be communicated what the events are.
I
And
understand.
we had thought that the library commission itself would be that sounding board, and that didn't even occur. So that was kind of the bigger concern that we had, is that it hadn't been reviewed by anybody because the library, obviously it's an advisory board, but the library commission has a say in what goes on in the library as well and make recommendations to the city council. So I think it was unfortunate, as you've indicated, and everybody's, I think, indicated. But once the administration was aware of something that was, not appropriate to be the sponsor of, we weren't against the event. The fact that, but sponsorship of taxpayer dollars, then we said, we can't sponsor it as a city, just like other events we could not sponsor. So I think it is a learning experience. I think that things will be brought to the library commission in the future. And they will have an active part in making sure that those events are, again, neutral events, reading events, all the educational events, you talk about, all this stuff is very, very appropriate for the library and for the city to sponsor those things. But when you get into certain social causes or other things, we want to make sure the city remains neutral.
Thank
Through
you.
the chair.
Councilwoman Ayers Reese.
You may want to put something out there, what is facilitate versus sponsor, so that people can understand the difference between those and why we weren't spending taxpayer dollars. And also, I want to thank the library itself, for, all their events. They put on so many things that are so educational, and promote education and reading. So I say don't be discouraged, because they're a great place to be. They're doing great things, and I thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. The difference between facilitate and sponsor, did you just want to make a note?
Yeah, I just made a note about that, maybe establishing a policy in describing the difference
Yeah.
between facilitate and sponsor.
But maybe even the commissions will know, hey, this is what we can and can't do. Thank you.
Any other old business? Seeing none, any new business?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Gollak.
I'm going to ask somebody to come up here that I've not told in advance. I've got several emails this week about e-bikes, and I could have the police chief come up if he has a chance and explain what the current ordinance is concerning e-bikes, where they're allowed, where they're not allowed, and if the city needs to change that ordinance because they're becoming so prevalent in the city.
Chief Mindars.
You know you were going to ask him. I hope so.
Good evening, through the chair.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we do currently have a low-speed vehicle ordinance that prohibits any type of e-bikes or scooters, electric scooters, any of those low-speed vehicles anywhere in the city right now. I have been in contact with Administrator Marsh and also our city attorney Ed Zelenak regarding the e-bikes because there is state law regarding the e-bikes. So there is state law that does allow e-bikes to be ridden on the roadway. So I think we do probably need to look at amending our ordinance. I think it's a good idea to revisit that based on what we have and some of the other ordinances. So I do have several on my desk currently. This has been a thing that's been coming up, obviously, with the warmer weather. So I do think it's worthwhile to take a look at.
Thank you.
Any other new business? Seeing none, one unscheduled person in the audience. Oh. Unscheduled person in the audience, if you'd like to address council, please come to the podium, state your name and address. You have 3 minutes. Seeing none, we'll move on to claims and accounts. Councilman Roush.
Move to approve warrant 1547, the amount of $1,444,189.55.
Support.
Motion by Roush, supported by George. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman Ayers Reese.
happy Juneteenth, everyone, and happy Father's Day, and I'm motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion by Ayers Reese, supported by Gollak. Any discussion or objection? Or adjourned.